It's interesting. Let me just take you through what the Brazilian coach had to say when he was asked about Neymar and the possibility of him returning to international action. And obviously, he's out with injury at the moment. The move to Saudi Arabia has been a complete and utter failure. This is what Dorival Jr. had to say about Neymar. I would like him to return to the team at a time when the team can support him. I hope that happens again in March or the following year. All we want is him to be fit so that he can do his best. I have no doubt that with Neymar, the international team's performance, the national team's performance, will be better than ever. This is clutching at straw. This is desperate, isn't it, Gustavo?
Yeah, no, yes. In Brazil, we have an expression that we say the hypothetical Neymar. Because no one knows how is Neymar nowadays. You can count on him. You just can't count on him. Of course that you can expect that he will come back, but you cannot expect that he will be the savior, that he will be your best player, because he doesn't play. Actually, he played, but he got another injury. But so he doesn't play regularly for more than a year. That's a lot for a player over 30 years old. So I think that we're talking about the hypothetical Neymar. When he returns, and if he returns, for example, to play in Brazil for Santos, many people are talking about it in Brazil. Let's see what happens. Brazil will play again in March. Will Neymar be playing again regularly till March? I think so, but no one knows nowadays.
32 he is, Ali. And you think all the struggles he's had, particularly since he made that move to Saudi Arabia, it's strange the manager is so committed.
Well, I don't... The age itself doesn't worry me as much as the injuries. And the fact that I think we can all agree, whatever we think of Neymar, we can all agree that he hasn't always been the most committed. And he hasn't always been the most about, to Stevie's point, a team sort of player. I think the fact that they're so desperate to find something different about this team, that you're not quite finding it in the players that are currently available for selection. And you kind of go, we got a guy. We got a guy. Neymar is the guy. And it's that desperation, and it's the fact that you feel the need to be drawn towards Neymar that paints a very clear picture as to where this team is. At this point, in Neymar's career, given the injury that he just had, you shouldn't be looking at him to walk through that door and resolve every issue that you have going forward in terms of the creativity for this team. You should have players available that you should be able to plug into those sort of holes and say, this is the next generation of Brazil. And you're struggling to do that. Neymar may be a good piece to have, may be useful for you in moments, but cannot be the answer to all your problems.
When was the last time Neymar actually lived up to the reputation that he got? I mean, he didn't. I mean, how far back do you want to go? Because in my mind, since he left Barcelona, he has been a shadow of the Neymar that we used to lord over and salivate over.
No, we've seen flashes, to be fair. At
PSG,
he took PSG to a Champions League final. Do you know what I mean? So there has been there. Well, but the fact that we're hanging our hats.
Again, Dan, I would argue. I would love to agree with you in saying that Neymar took them to a final. This is not like Maradona carrying Argentina. I think Neymar carrying PSG to a Champions League final is a bit of a stretch. And let's put his club team aside. When was the last time he played well for Brazil? In my cluttered brain, I don't remember the last time that Neymar actually produced in a Brazil shirt either. So the fact that Dorival's talking about when we get Neymar back...
Well, he hasn't produced in any shirt for a long time because he's been injured. This is
exactly. I mean, it's a classic case of sometimes not playing. People just seem to remember all the great things about you, other than what you actually produced before you had your injuries or whatever it may be.
A name that perhaps people that are not fans of Brazil or not familiar with Brazilian soccer that would not recognize, Estevao. Who is that? Was a 17-year-old kid that came off the bench last night to be in a moment in which you need something creative, in which you need somebody to make a difference. That's who Brazil are leaning on. And hoping that the 17-year-old kid comes in and becomes a difference maker. Again, it paints a picture of desperation. It paints a picture of a team that is searching, of a manager that is searching, and he doesn't quite have the pieces. And beyond not having the pieces, because, again, that desperation is clear, those guys that you think are going to be the answer, i.e. Vini Jr., they're not performing. And so you add those things, and it doesn't add up well for Brazil and their performances in the future.